Dontayvion Wicks, very, very intrigued by him. I didn't realize he got hurt in the second half and was evaluated for concussion, which again, that's going to be on a short week. We'll have to pay attention to that. But lead receiver in terms of yards today with I believe 93 or 91.
91.
Again, really good game from him. Tucker Kraft nearly had a touchdown, but really showed off and really his first couple meaningful catches, right?
Yeah.
He hasn't really been on the board, or the box score. Luke Musgrave great again, but yeah, I think I'm burying the lead here because it goes into our next kind of big figure of today's game, but I just thought Jayden Reed was kind of the catalyst for just how this offense really looked today and how it was humming for a large portion of today.
Yeah, absolutely. Jayden Reed, 4 catches, 46 yards, 3 carries of 46 yards, so 92 total yards of offense on the day. That's quick maths for you, by the way.
There you go. Leading rusher.
And no small thanks to both Aaron Jones and Emmanuel Wilson going down. We'll get to those again in a minute. We have to have our moment of silence momentarily. But yeah, Jayden Reed has really become a rookie that's shining in this offense. I dare draw comparisons for fear of retribution from the Packers fans community of what happens next year, but eerily similar to how Christian Watson's rookie year went. Like, kind of quiet through the first part of the season, had some plays, was mostly being used as a gadget receiver, and then the offense learns how to use him properly, and now he's really coming alive. That's not to say he's still not being used as a gadget receiver on end arounds and things like that, but I think he has the ability for that, just as Christian Watson did last year. But I think they're starting to see the value in him as a pass catcher, in that he's finding the soft spots in the zone, he's finding the soft spots in the man coverage, and is just really playing out of his mind. 4 catches on 6 targets, his long being 19. But I think everybody, at least in the Discord, brief interruption, join the GSPN Discord at gspn.info. It's a lot of fun in there, as always. But just everybody who's in there that was saying, hey, feed Jayden Reed. Like, just keep finding ways to get him the ball. Similar in vein to how we want Aaron Jones fed all the time. Like, I think Jayden Reed is blossoming as one of the premier receivers on this team, and putting his name in there for being the number 1, being the number 2 receiver on this team, and just running away with it. I think today is one of those examples of the games, building off of games he's had in previous weeks, of really becoming that leader, position-wise, I guess talent-wise, in the wide receiver room.
Yeah, I think, again, it's kind of how we talked with the Christian Watson of it all, of getting manufacturing touches to utilize a really good skill set. If you're talking about Christian Watson, which we've seen more so last year than this year. Jay Reed, on the other hand, we've seen this littered throughout the year, where Falcons game, he gets his first touchdown on a similar kind of jet sweep kind of play, just sees daylight. Granted, a shorter field, but today that rushing touchdown helped by huge blocks. Malik Heath had a couple blocks today, he'll have, he didn't really show up on the stat sheet outside of having his first catch of the year, but I thought he made some big plays in terms of just his blocking and jumping or freeing up guys like Jayden Reed, and Love making a throw in the fourth quarter to free up I think that was a DPI call on Asante Samuel.
Yep. Yeah, Dontayvion Wicks had I think it was Wicks, not Heath, but I'm not entirely sure. I'll double check.
Wicks was the intended receiver, but Malik Heath chipped.
Oh yeah. Chipped the block on that play.
Yes.
My apologies. Yeah. My apologies.
But going back to Reed, I just thought we've seen this before. We've seen this in moments of okay, we know what he can do in the slot. We know he can do in terms of just give him a good, open field cushion defensively. He'll make plays and find his gaps. Drops have been an issue, but today was nearly a perfect performance in terms of holding on to the ball, catching the ball, everything like that. I just thought the way that he kind of, it happens on a 36-yard touchdown run or whatever it was, and just jump started the offense in a very palpable way. It was, it's one of those things where, okay, the Chargers have to react to that, and we have to, we can't just let that slide. And it opened up everything else for Dobbs, Dontayvion Wicks, Christian Watson, Luke Musgrave, everybody just having the field tilted in that way where how we're talking about, like, okay, do they have a number one? Do they have, all this stuff? It's kind of elevating on their own where they could go to all these different options. And this is the equal opportunity offense that we have lamented a lot of it working, but it hopefully, like, we can see this as a blueprint of how the Packers can operate in the future.
That same equal opportunity offense that the 2011 Packers had. I'm rehashing. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back. I'm reviving it from the dead. But again, just the most enormous pink Himalayan salt block that you can, like that size grain that you can imagine. It has the makings of that type of offense where you have playmakers at every position that can go out and catch the ball and make plays downfield or explosive plays. Like, that's just the way it's shaping up at the moment. And I think Jayden Reed is going to be a big part of that moving forward. Like, he's only a rookie, and he continues to get better. And I think Jordan Love said it in his post-game interview that it was evident from when Jayden Reed came in during minicamp, just wanting to get better and being that rookie that is paying attention as to ways he can improve and paying attention to the game plan and is always locked in. And I think we saw that in camp. We saw that just throughout his career thus far this season, that he really is going to be, I think, something special.
Yeah. Again, it's why they drafted him so highly this year. And it's very reassuring to see kind of these rookies really hit the ground running and start to kind of find their feet now, because we're more than halfway through the season. They know the offense. They're getting comfortable. The flashes that we're seeing now, it's starting to gain steam, get consistency. There's surely, as you mentioned, are things to get better with this offense, but I think it helps knowing that in time they can utilize someone like Jayden Reed and just getting him the ball in different ways that can kind of get back to that unpredictability that they want to get out of the offense, because it surely will help them if they keep, putting performances together like this.
Right. I think this is a good opportunity for us just to transition into the rest of the receivers on this team that did well today. And I think I want to start with the rookies still. Like, they just did so well that it's hard to start with anybody else. Look at Dontayvion Wicks, 3 catches on 5 targets for 91 yards. Had so many yards after the catch today. Like, you think about averaging 30 yards a catch, that's quite insane. I'm trying to find, I thought I had it from Peter Bukowski, but I must have missed it. I believe it was Peter that reported that Dontayvion Wicks is the first Packers player in quite some time to have 3 catches of 25 yards or more in a game. It might be
out of track.
I'm trying to find it, but he just had such a. I'm sorry, it's Aaron Nagler. Over the last 45 seasons, Dontayvion Wicks is the only Packers rookie with 3 receptions of 25 yards plus in a game. My apologies. That's per Elias Sports Bureau. So it kind of tracks, given that the Packers rookie receivers haven't really been involved that much in the Favre and Rodgers eras because of the competitiveness, the competitors that they were, and that they've had established receivers there, whether it be Javon Walker, Antonio Freeman, Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, Devontae Adams, anybody, James Jones, anybody. There wasn't really anybody, a rookie that was coming and having this type of impact. And so seeing him have that impact right away, especially, now I'm going to trip myself up. He was not undrafted, right? He was
5th rounder.
Yeah, 5th rounder. I was going to call him undrafted for free agent, but that's Malik Heath, who also had his first career reception today.
Yes, he did.
But you go look at Dontayvion Wicks having that impact with Jayden Reed, and it looks so bright for the young guys on this team. That's not even to. I guess we'll talk about Luke Musgrave in a minute, but I guess what did you think of Dontayvion Wicks as I guess breakout game today, and just how he's responded this season so far?
24 snaps. I'll tell you this from PFF. 24 snaps on the day. I'm looking at the stat 18.2 yards per target.
That's
So that
good.
just shows you when he gets the ball, the guy creates offense on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's increasingly becoming too big to ignore. I don't know how they'll get him more snaps. They already have we're looking at Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson, Jayden Reed. They obviously have Luke Musgrave out there. Dontayvion Wicks is wide receiver 4 right now, but the guy makes plays. He makes big plays on top of that. If he's healthy, and obviously the concussion part is a big, note that we can't forget, but it's not just about getting more snaps, it's about just utilizing him in the game plan because,
He needs to be. Yeah.
he needs to be. Like he certainly has something with Jordan Love already, and they have, we've seen him, and the other thing too, as much as he's creating offense, after the catch and everything like that, he's a big, fast guy that also generates DPIs. This is the second game this year, maybe third. Obviously, the Falcons game we can go back to that opening drive where he gets a huge pass interference call go his way.
Right.
And today was even bigger because of just how obviously the time it happened during the game. And it was a 3rd and 20, so it's literally make or break that drive deep in their own field.
Yep.
Yeah, I just thought Wicks really, he's what looks like a hidden gem is becoming not so hidden anymore. This guy is legitimately good, and I just want to see more of him play.
Oh, absolutely. I think and to your point about trying to find places for and targets for Dontayvion Wicks, as crappy as it is to bringing this up, I think he just might be taking Christian Watson's targets. He had more targets than Christian Watson today. He had
Yes, he did.
Dontayvion Wicks
Not
3 for 5.
not.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it was very helpful or like easy to see during the game.
Oh yeah, I don't think Christian Watson had a target until like the second half. It felt like at least
there was the deep bomb that they missed. No, that was not. No, sorry,
that was Watson, but I think that was
Watson
second
too.
half.
Yeah,
And so Dontayvion Wicks was getting mixed in early, and it's not to say that I'm happy that Christian Watson is not getting targeted, but I think Dontayvion Wicks is doing a lot more with his opportunities than Christian Watson. He's getting open more. Like I think
with
that's
the hot hand.
right. I think that's as simple as it is he's just getting open more. And it would be nice if all of them could get open and Jordan Love could just pick his fancy if he wants to throw to on any given play, of course. But that's not obviously the nature of how football works. And good for Christian Watson, 2 catches on 4 targets and a touchdown today on that drawn up play by tight end coach John Dunn. But I think just seeing him get mixed in more and get open more will lead to him getting his targets back. But for now, unless if he can't go, he'll have another week to go get it. But at this point, I'm riding Dontayvion Wicks and Jayden Reed into the future for quite some time now.
Yes. I just yeah. I again, we'll see how that changes going forward in terms of Christian Watson had the touchdown today, and again, great play design, but I don't know. I don't know how it can't.
We're having the same thought.
Yeah, production has to be there, and your quarterback is getting better by the week at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how LaFleur and coaching staff kind of handle these snap counts, and just it's not even just snap counts, it's the routes that are run. What play designs are they using these players for? Because that Dontayvion Wicks is getting more featured in there, and Christian Watson, we know that they'll do the deep shot every once in a while, but can they do it in a way where it's not just always that, and hopefully, success is there.
Yeah. Touching on Jayden Reed one more time before we move on. I think Mark Sanchez was on the game today, if I'm not mistaken. But he was, for one, this is not the point I was trying to make. Mark Sanchez was not good today.
No,
He
he had
was
a lot of weird anecdotes that were like,
he called players wrong, like the wrong name multiple times. He said to feed number one when talking about Jayden Reed, who's this is not his number. It wasn't good for Mark Sanchez today. But the one point he did make is that early on in the game there was a curl route from Jayden Reed up the middle, and Mark Sanchez was talking about how Jayden Reed needs to run faster at his defender and then put his foot in the ground and turn to catch the ball. But he kind of like just didn't go hard before his cut, and that gave the DB an opportunity to break up the pass, which he did. Later in the game, same exact situation and a more crucial spot. I think it was late in the third, and they were driving. Jayden Reed full sprints at his defender and turns around for a curl route and catches the ball for a first down. Like, and that was like the exact thing that Mark Sanchez like wanted him to see to improve on his route running, and you saw it plays later in the same game. So that's something that you can just see that someone probably got in his ear on the sideline, told him probably the same thing, and it worked out. So I'm just really, really excited to watch Jayden Reed and Dontayvion Wicks sort of keep going this season and just see how they continue to develop as Jordan Love develops.